Jennifer Cameron.
The best part of waking up is Craigie in your cup. It's time to get black, y'all. Rise, shine, and recline, y'all. It's a gorgeous day to be in the cut. You know, there's just nothing better than thinking you're being hunted by a gang of rabbit, pot-belly, mountain billy goats, only to wake up and realize it was just your 20-year recurring fever dream rearing its ugly little head again. This breakfast is a celebration of gratitude that not all dreams mirror reality. But enough about that. Today, we're gonna be all over the place, like those pot-belly goats. We're getting into science, architecture, and finishing things off with something for the kids. So without any more long talk, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy the show while I enjoy this perfect layer of cherry preserves over honeycomb butter and potato bread toast. Okay, get it together, Craig. Get it together. Look, if you don't make eye contact with it, just, it's not there. Just look at the gem. Look at the gem.
Morning. Morning.
Don't worry that it started talking to you. It's not there if you don't look at it.
That's not entirely true, 'cause I'm right here, in the flesh. But I come in peace, so don't even trip.
I'm listening.
You were doing so well, too, weren't you? Almost made it through 2 episodes without forgetting to set up the segment, but then got distracted by those delicious cherry preserves, and here we are.
I was hoping no one would notice. I knew someone or something was watching me.
It's all G, Brother Craig. Just set up the segment, and you can get back to your preserves.
You know what? I have an even more delicious idea. How about you set it up and I'll just continue eating my morning nosh?
Oh, wow. I don't even know what to say. Okay, let me get my hookup together. Okay, our first story is about to have you bugging.
Hey, leave your jokes to me. Got it?
Oh, yeah, my bad, Craig. So there are doctors that take care of people, and there are those who take care of creatures like me, aka bugs. This young entomologist has made it his life's work to take away people's fear of the unknown. Listen closely, because you might learn a thing or two. Without further ado, your attention please. Meet Dr. Sammy.
Do caterpillars eat toast?
Now, something that I would love to do one day is I would like to make a bee suit without Velcro for black people, because if you get Velcro in our hair, it's the end of your day. Hoo-hoo-hoo. Look at all of that. People fear what they don't understand. I'm Dr. Samuel Ramsey. I'm an entomologist. I live at the intersection of multiple identities. It's been such a journey to get from where I started to where I am now. Chapter 1. Scene. Little Sammy is in his bed. He's got the covers pulled up to his neck, but his eyes aren't closed. because there's something sinister in this room. And he lifts up the covers and looks down. I remember having this dream where a bunch of them carried me off into the night. When I would start screaming about bugs coming after me, my dad would come into the room. He'd say, "Sammy, where is it?" And I'd point and he'd step on it. And he'd say, "Are there any more?" And I'd point and he'd step on the next one. Apparently he and my mom had a conversation about this. And I love that they had the wisdom to say, well, let's approach this from a position of curiosity. My mom took me to the library. She focused me in the entomology section, where I was constantly checking out books specifically about the insects that were really getting on my nerves, because my mom told me if I understood them, I wouldn't fear them. These organisms are creative. They have solved pretty much all the problems that the biological world can throw at them. Paper wasps invented paper. Leafcutter ants were farming before humans. Spider silk is one of the strongest substances on Earth. I'm sure you've been walking down the aisles in the grocery store. You've seen all the different kinds of milks, the almond milk, the cow's milk, the goat's milk, the soy milk, but one of these days, you might find yourself faced with a nice heaping glass of roach milk. It is really nutritionally dense stuff. I can imagine myself being in a scenario where I gotta put my money where my mouth is, because people are out here like, oh, you love insects so much, would you drink roach milk? Yes, I would. I would grab me a nice heaping glass of it, of this stuff that may actually be able to decrease the carbon footprint of all of humanity, and I would lift it to my lips and just, that's not bad.
Should know. Here's something that I won't hide. Here's something you should know. I'm done, so done switching code for you.
You are now seeing the very first movements of an adult honeybee.
Is that your Attenborough?
That is my Attenborough. One day, I'm going to be Black David Attenborough. All of these bees that you see emerging here, they're starting to understand the world around them. As honeybees mature, they go through different stages. The process itself is called metamorphosis, and metamorphosis is just a fancy word for development. Chapter 2. The world is really complicated, and oftentimes we seek to cause it to make more sense by just removing as much of the complexity as possible to something that fits in the categories that we can comprehend. I actually happen to be the son of 2 pastors. And so from what my family understood of the subject, I was attracted to guys because of spiritual forces. I actually went to a revival. They put a hand on my forehead and began to pray to me to entreat God to fix me. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that there was nothing to be fixed. I started off so early reading through scripture at the same time that I was immersing myself in science. I didn't see this rift between them. The book of scripture and the book of nature are written by the same guy. A question that my father had for me in this process: how can it be okay for you to choose to be a gay man? He had a really tough time just even getting that word out. I said, this isn't a choice. I think that this is simply one aspect of the diversity that God has built into humanity. God is love. We also know that God is diverse and exists as a complex being. So, why wouldn't we expect love to be as diverse as all of the rest of this?
Amen.
Hey. Entomology, quite frankly, is the study of diversity, because insects are the most diverse category of organisms on this planet. To study insects is to study diversity. So bees take only a few weeks to develop, about 21 days. Come on, buddy. Cooperate, we're on TV. There we go. So check her out. That red bump right there, that is a varroa mite. Varroa destructor. So I've developed a system called Mite Insight. You can see everything that's going on in the entire more than week's worth of time that the mite and that developing bee are stuck together in that cell. It allows us to see into a stage of the development of the mites that we never would be able to see otherwise. Look at all this science that's happening right now. Yeah. People ask me all the time, how come you were the one to see this? We thought this parasite was feeding on the bee's blood. There's a correlation between these parasites and colonies failing and collapsing. It turns out that this parasite was attaching itself to bees, liquefying the liver of the bee, and then sucking that out of the bee's body. And so there are tons of researchers looking at this. Why you? I think what people expect to hear in that situation is, well, I just worked harder, or I'm smarter than the rest of these people. I don't think that that's it. I think what it is that we need more diversity, because your experiences, your framework, your cultural lens, it all comes together to form the way that you look at problems. And I looked at this problem a bit differently. The very narrow conception of what a scientist looks like, it needs to be exploded. We need people outside of these categories, and I will not apologize for it.
A few bits up or down, where did your dimensions go? Instead of wading in these waters, you rather dam my flow.
So my Thai might be a little rusty, but let me see. สวัสดีครับผมพูดภาษาไทยได้นิดหน่อยครับเป็นนักจิตวิทยากำลังทำวิจัยเรื่องผึ้งตื่นเต้นจังเลย Chapter 3. The same way that our liver protects us from toxic substances, their livers protect them from pesticides and allows them to break them down. But when these parasites destroy their liver, they end up succumbing to exposure to pesticide that should be sublethal. We had just been in the lab looking at these structures that are produced in the fecal matter of the mites, these purine crystals. Talking to my dad, he immediately leads in with, Sammy, oh Lord, I got gout. And the doctors tell me that I gotta change what I'm eating. So I'm gonna need my scientist son to tell me what I'm supposed to do about this. Even though my dad doesn't have an exoskeleton, I just did what I figured any good scientist would do. I Googled it, found out that gout is the result of purine crystals building up in your blood. What if my dad and the mites have similar diets since they're creating similar products? It turns out that at the top of the list of what you should not eat if you have gout, it's always liver. And so that one exchange with my dad started me down this road of realizing the mites may actually be feeding on the bee's liver. And here we are years later. There have been multiple people who have told me, Sammy, pick a lane, stay in it. You can't be a singer and also be an entomologist and also be a Christian at the same time that you're a scientist. Those don't go together. You can't be a queer person and be a Christian. Like, those don't go together. You can't be a science communicator and conduct good science. Those don't go together. I simply don't agree. I feel that there are ways to bring all of this together, and I'm inspired by insects. Insects are constantly solving problems where we would think there's no way to solve that problem, and they have figured it out. Ecosystems are healthier when they are diverse, and I feel that the same applies to us as human beings. All of these elements of diversity that we have, they make the human fabric that we weave together something so much more beautiful and robust. Diversity brings with it success. Diversity brings with it the ability to see your way around problems that so many others have said could not be solved. Epilogue. I love being an entomologist. It is everything that I thought it would be and so many things that I didn't even expect. I feel like people haven't figured out yet that this isn't actually work, because it doesn't feel like it. It is incredible.
Finally, it dawned on me. I'm the only one who can permit me to be me. Here's something you should know. I'm done, so done switching code for you. Ooh.
never thought there was a cure for the bug-induced heebie-jeebies, but looks like Dr. Sammy's knowledge just provided the vaccine. Keep on educating us, Doc. I'm tired of having to drive to my Aunt Stella's house to kill spiders and mosquitoes all the time. Gas ain't cheap, Aunt Stella. Now, our next story hits super close to home. Not sure if y'all have realized it by now, but I am somewhat of a Craig of all trades. There's nothing I can't do. Now, I didn't say I'd always do it well, but let's not get lost in the details. I've been waiting all day to show y'all what I got cooking under here. Check it out. This is the future right here. My grand plan for my mountain fortress of blackness. You're only getting to experience a fraction of what will be a fully functional layer of creativity, intellectual fulfillment, and of course, aggressive levels of leisure. We don't have time to go into all the details, but trust me, you're gonna wanna be invited to the mountain warming. Now, our next creator knows a thing or two about designing epic spaces. I may or may not have reached out for some advice as I was designing this baby right here. I've said enough, so let's get into it. Your attention, please. Meet Samantha Josaphat. The symmetry is phenomenal. Who am I?
It's hard for me not to be myself. The ability to hone in on who I am and go against certain norms, that's my superpower, and I'm not giving that up. I love New York. I love Brooklyn because it's every part of me. When I'm walking my dog, people don't know I'm an architect. People just know me as the neighbor that lives in the area, and I look just like everyone else. And for me, that's comfort, like feeling like I belong. After I got my architecture license, I decided that I was gonna go off on my own. My firm, Studio 397, provides architecture and interior design services. And the name came about after finding out I was the 397th licensed Black female architect in all of US history. So why not name it Studio 397 and mark a moment in history so that we can track our progress and the increase in that number. My favorite part of working is being at my desk and really being in the flow of tying the art and the science together. When we're looking at a set of drawings, I love geeking out in those moments.
Yeah, so this space is gonna shrink.
Which is good because it makes this actually more real, this return of the wood. For me, it's being able to see beauty, but also understand the science behind things. Assembly is gonna change this R33. It's gonna actually get bigger, which is good. And I think that might stem back to my childhood in like, not just looking at it from the surface level, but really understanding how it works in depth. Early on in architecture school, they would teach you the creative thinking process. And I realized what they were teaching me was something that I had already been doing from childhood, and that was problem solving, making things work better. There will be times I'm in the car with my grandparents driving, and I'll see a street sign, and I'm like, why is that the image on the street sign if they're trying to convey this message? And I would redesign it in my head, and I think the beauty of being able to be constantly redesigning is something that I can still do to this day. Walking down the street, the first thing I notice are connections. Understanding the alignment of things or what needs to be realigned. I'm just constantly looking up, just understanding how things are coming together and reimagining things. I like to tell people that architecture is a tool of diplomacy because it's a way to have a conversation with someone else of a different background, a different religion, a different race, where you share common experiences. We all move through spaces, and so why isn't it that everyone has the opportunity to design spaces? It's very significant to be a Black architect because it's not common. My grandfather, he was in construction back when he lived in New York. We started to really, really bond over like this profession. My grandfather would come and visit us on the construction site. And for him, it was like one of those proud moments where it's like, you know, I used to be a construction worker, but now my grandchild is the architect. The more I could put the message of architecture out there and share with my network and have a broader outreach, the more others can know about the profession and enter the profession. Being genuine to what I like and genuine to what I want out of life is leadership. I don't think I chose to be a leader. I think I naturally became a leader. At one point, I did run away from it because that wasn't in my plans. It was just to figure it out. I realized figuring it out gave me a leadership role to then be that inspiration and motivation for others to push through the status quo. I got upset when I was in college because I won a Resilient Award, and I'm like, a little trophy. Now I am proud of that award, like beyond any design award, because when I have my college classmates reaching out to me and they're like, wow, I can't believe you got to where you are, and it's because I was resilient. Understanding your path is different, your obstacles are different, but embrace it and make something of it.
Damn. Samantha's level of productivity makes me feel like a sloth sipping lean. Keep on killing them, sister. I'm sure I'll be reaching out when I'm by the mountain next door. Ooh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just so tired. I was gonna read myself a bedtime story, but I don't think I can keep my eyes open. Better just call it a night and get ready for tomorrow. Night-night, family. I could read you a bedtime story, my brother. Who said that? Who's in my mountain fortress of blackness? It's me, my brother. Or rather, your brother, Greg Robinson. You didn't think I was gonna miss out on this mountain of fun, did you, baby boy? I suppose not. And to be honest, I wasn't happy with the way we ended things, so I'm really happy you're here, bro. Really, Greg? Man, that means so much coming from you. Should we fist bump it out? Definitely, bro. So much power. Greg and Craig plus mountain joy together in brotherly unity. Mama! Shall I get to the story? Oh, most definitely. Our final segment is about a children's author whose mission is to represent the underrepresented and inspire kids to do great things and be proud of where they come from and how they look. Wait, your bedtime story just sets up the next segment? Well, it is what it is. Your attention, please. Meet Katura Bobo.
It's a little girl running with a handful of balloons. It's like 2 or 3 balloons dangled off in the background, and it's cute. Most people don't know that the painting has a much deeper meaning. She represents me and how not everybody who starts on your journey gets to continue on your journey with you. So the balloons she's carrying are all the people that's still with her. And the balloons that are gone are the lost ones. It's something I think about often, how a lot of the people that I wish were still with me aren't. or that I'm happy some of the balloons are gone. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy some of those people aren't there anymore, because maybe I wouldn't be on the same path if they were.
I'm Katura Ariel, and I'm an artist and illustrator. I'm often known for my illustrations in children's books, but I'm a painter as well.
Certain moments, I feel like they're worth highlighting. Moments are important to immortalize, I think, because they're often about like self-discovery. You know, the boy looking at himself in a mirror is like, you know, learning to accept his dark skin, you know, learning that his dark skin is beautiful. Even though it's a small moment, a mundane moment, there's so much power to it because of the stereotypes and the things surrounding it that are, you know, often mislabeled. I love painting brown skin. I love every facet of it. I love that you have to use more colors to paint brown skin than you do lighter skin. The painting of the boy in the bathroom is my cousin. His name is Bruce, and he's very dark skinned, and I love his skin tone, and I always have, and I wanted to capture his skin in a way that gave it life. I wanted the colors to reflect that. I made a point to choose different tones, so purples and greens and colors you don't necessarily see in the skin itself, but colors that if you're looking close enough, they're reflected in the skin. I have a series of paintings that I've named Black Clouds. And these paintings are about hair mostly, and about how I see certain elements of our hair everywhere in nature. I just feel like when I look up in the sky and I see cumulus clouds, I see my niece's hair. When I see certain flowers, I see braids. It's everywhere in nature. Like when I see trees and bushes, I see our hair. I see afros. I love that our hair is something that grows up and out. It's always more difficult for me to release work that has a deeper social message because I know that some people might disagree with how I feel. The Flint piece, I think a lot of people were probably angry, about that because it was so direct. And I feel like my work isn't usually as direct as that. I try to make work that, inflicts some type of change, empowers people and all that stuff, but it's like in those moments, you don't know what to do. I sometimes feel like even if I post my work, even if I put it out there, it's not gonna directly impact what's happening on the street. So American Nightmare is a conceptual idea that I've had for a while. I don't have any finished pieces of it yet, but the idea behind it is Black people doing regular things and being assumed or presumed to be doing something that they're not. Just being places and having brown skin or Black skin and people thinking that you shouldn't be there or that you're doing something wrong because of the way you look. Black kids walking around with hoodies up is automatically dangerous for some reason. I've never understood it, and I wanted to create a piece based on the idea of why are they perceived as threats even though they're kids with hoodies on. I was in the store the other day just getting a smoothie, but it's in a prestigious neighborhood, I guess. And I ordered it online, I go in, and they assume I'm an Uber driver. So they bottle it up, they package it in a certain way, and I'm like, you could just hand it to me. But it's just stuff like that happens, I feel like, way too often to Black people, and that's what American Nightmare is about. Another concept that I'm working on, there's a little girl on her swing, and the thing that might be perceived as threatening or alarming are the chains itself. There's definitely something there as far as how chains have always been kind of represented in our history as Black Americans especially. And I think this piece just kind of touches on that uneasiness that we may have from seeing that. You don't know what's happening initially, but it's a simple movement and the girl's getting pushed on the swing by her father. The Gathering painting is more about the fact that I've been in spaces and it's a bunch of people of color together And people are like, what's going on over here, you know? Or people were like just looking and staring when they walk by. And I've always thought that was odd. I wanted to show everybody just kind of like reacting to each other's presence. And laughter in a way where you hear it, you know, because the person's head might be up, their mouth might be completely open. I wanted this piece to speak to how the numbers of people often looks intimidating when Black people are gathered together. Just because it's like a larger number of Black people, it's like, oh no, what's happening? You know, what happened, you know? A lot of these pieces in American Nightmare are things that I don't really understand. So it's like while I'm working through them, I'm trying to figure it out too. Like, what about this is alarming or threatening? I'm absolutely gonna embed my family in my work to keep their legacies alive, to keep them alive, to immortalize them. So even if the characters don't necessarily look like them exactly, they might have other elements of their facial features. And I think that's the powerful thing about families, is that when you have a group of people together, even the people that are no longer there, you see them in different people's faces. When I'm long gone from here, my family will still be here because my art's still here.
Well, since Craig is rounding the corner into REM sleep, I'll close this thing out. Katura, keep the stories coming. My kids love your books, and it's inspiring generations to do great things with the gifts they are given. That's all the time we have today, so as Craig would say, don't forget to find what you love, share it with the world, and scream from the mountaintop. Your attention, please.